How to prevent your driving test being stopped? Well, the short answer to that is, of course, drive to an appropriate test standard. And one of the key things that people tend to go wrong with on test is driving at an appropriate speed. So the question is, what is an appropriate speed when driving? Well, an appropriate speed is a speed that allows you to stop well within the distance you can see to be clear in all driving situations. You do need to hold back via a hazard response when the situation requires, and then of course mirrors, gas, and get to the speed depending on the situation, up to, but obviously not exceeding, the posted speed limit. So this video features Lily the Leopard, who represents a 35-year-old female who has had 45 hours with an instructor but 15 years ago. He did enjoy a good chat about everything except driving, allegedly. Surprise, surprise, she failed her test, but very unfortunately, the test was stopped after only 10 minutes due to her taking a bend at a dangerous speed. She now urgently needs a driving license for a new job and is a little bit hesitant about getting back to it. So Lily, what do you remember about your driving lessons with your previous instructor? That is absolutely excellent. Okay, Lily says that he was obsessed about how leopards don't change their spots. Well, that's a little bit personal, isn't it? But what was he talking about? Did he relate that to the driving at all? He did. Okay, how did he do that? I see. Okay. Okay, after she failed, her instructors said that you either have the feel for driving and therefore learn quickly, or you just have to keep taking the test until you pass. Okay, well, we're not going to take that strategy, Lily, so I'm going to briefly demonstrate on the move what is appropriate speed when driving. So appropriate speed when driving. Well, Lily, what you've got to do is you've got to get to the speed of the road, okay? You do need to make appropriate progress. You can't be driving too hesitantly, okay? Because that can also cause a dangerous situation. But you're looking to get up towards, if not hitting, the posted speed limit, obviously not exceeding that, but only up to the point that is appropriate, which means you need to be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear when you're actually going around bends, for example. And if there is wet on the road, or there is wet leaves or gravel or dried mud, often the case in country roads, you need to be able to allow yourself a little bit longer to stop. So therefore a little bit earlier on the brake as appropriate means, of course, that the speed needs to be proportionally less. So it's just getting that feel of it. So let's take a drive and just put into practice the fundamental strategy of early hazard response. So we're going to pull away. You do my appropriate observation. I am going to signal to oncoming, final blind spot, and we're going to go. Now the hazard ahead is the bend with drop curb, so I'm not over gassing through, and that allows me to steer so I avoid the drop curbs. Now there's a little bit of wet on the road, so I'm not going to go crazy. It's a 20-mile-an-hour zone here, so stay in second gear. Now there's a hazard ahead. It's a traffic calming measure. I'm going to come off the gas nice and early, check my mirrors. I'm just going to cover the brake, reduce speed on approach, allows me to oversteer with control, mirrors and gas. So again, hazard ahead is a long about, bit of gas to get there, coming off the gas, checking my mirrors, I check again, and I'm just about okay to go. And the speed allows me to smoothly steer the course I need that avoids the drop curbs. So even though this is a 20, the appropriate speed is not 20 at this point. I'm in the middle of the road for that traffic calming measure. So I'm checking my mirrors before I do anything. At this point I'm just covering. That's an appropriate speed to navigate that chicane. And again, there is a hazard ahead, so I'm still going to hold back. I am going to signal to the car behind that I'm coming out. Nice clearance. Do my mirrors and make some progress. Now, I can now get towards the speed, making some progress. Yeah, hazard ahead again, coming off. Just timing it so the approach speed to the hazard is appropriate. It allows you to stop from the distance you can see to be clear. So a bit of gas to get there, coming off, it's mirrors before I change position to avoid the pinch point there. Now making some progress towards the roundabout at a reduced speed because of the bend, the car, etc. So we're going right, third exit, and then follow the signs for other routes. So this is my appropriate speed on approach. It allows me to assess the roundabout. Not sure if I can go, so I'm going to go into first gear. And that was a good call. Well done me. Okay. So, the appropriate speed around the roundabout. Okay, you don't go too slowly, but it does depend on the size of the roundabout and the situation. So we're going to make some progress. We're not going to overgas because traffic was building up, and assess, can we actually make the exit? Yes, we can. Just about, otherwise we would have held back. But the appropriate speed allowed us to make that call. We cancel the signal. Now, at the spiral roundabout ahead, we're going straight over, fourth exit, don't cut the spiral. Now, it's a slightly faster roundabout, but you still need to be aware of what other people are doing. So on approach, we are forced to be in the right-hand lane because that's other routes. Left-hand lane is town centre, okay? Now, which is left only. Now that doesn't mean that we aren't going to find someone in the left-only lane going straight over. So therefore, the appropriate speed will allow us to just initially look where we're going, check, give way to the right, do the appropriate observations, but also check on that near side to see if someone is in the wrong lane undertaking us. We need to know about that. An appropriate speed will allow us to make that observation. It's just about the safe driving, giving yourself space and time to respond to what's there. So there is a huge amount in appropriate speed, and it does vary considerably depending on the situation, but it obviously applies to every driving situation because you need it for every driving situation. Yes, I know. Okay, I feel a song coming on. It's Lily, don't be a speedy, don't be a fool with your life and actually other people's lives. Okay, was that a bit cringing? It was a little bit, but speed is really important. Now, I gather your other instructor didn't really tell you much about this, but we can take this on board, okay? So we're just keeping the speed down at this point because obviously we need to assess the road situation. We always give way to the right. You knew that. That was good. Of course you do. Of course you do. So this is straight over and the left-hand lane is left-only town centre. So are we going to go? No, but always look where you're going. Edge forward, and when it's appropriate, is that a potential block? Yes, it is. Can I still go? Yes, a bit of oomph, but always check just in case there was someone in the wrong lane, and then we could respond appropriately. So this is a slightly faster roundabout, but it is a spiral, so we can stay in our lane and signal as appropriate. Now we are going to make progress through the bend. Make sure no one is about to cross, and they could have pressed the button to change the lights, but that's why we just hold back to assess. So it is a 30-mile-an-hour road. There's a little bit of moisture on the road, but we can still get towards the speed. So that is the appropriate speed. We're just hitting 30, which is the speed limit. That's the appropriate speed because there is no reason to hold back. So we are actually following the signs for Bury St Edmunds, A14 West, okay? So as I come off, checking my mirrors, positioning in the appropriate lane, and always think that main roundabouts could have a spiral that you don't cut. So yeah, it's a medium-sized roundabout, and if you're not sure, you've got to go at the speed that allows you to respond to the lane markings. So we're going to stay in this lane. There is a spiral, so I'm not going to cut it, but I do need to hold back a little bit in case someone else behind me doesn't realise that I'm going to come out, because they don't have a clue about how to deal with main roundabouts with a spiral section. Okay, so now we're going to go straight over. It's actually the first exit. We want the left-hand lane. Always be aware there's no giveaways here. I am going to tell people where we're going. Now, it's a national speed limit road, so we're looking to get up to 60 miles an hour because it's a single carriageway, so bit of a gas. Now, at this point, it's not 60 because of the bend, and there is potential for animals running out. There is a house there, so that there's a concealed entrance there. So I'm making some progress, assessing what's ahead of me. There is a little bit of moisture on the road that's drawing oncoming over towards me, and there's a puddle between me, or just ahead of me should I say, so I have to hold back. I'm forced to go over that puddle because there was a car coming. So I'm making progress now, maybe just teasing in fourth, and then appropriate speed around the bend. So you need to assess whether or not you can tease it in that gear. So we're going to come off, just cover, assess. So I am going to gently brake down into third gear because it was a bend, there was a car coming, there's a concealed entrance. So this is still a 60 mile an hour road, but we are actually doing 30. That's the appropriate speed. Looking for mud on the road, making progress. You're looking to gently gas through the bend. I'm going to tease it in third. It's still 30 miles an hour. So you weren't told any of this. Well, it's quite a challenging set of protocols to follow, but yeah, let's make some progress. Now I'm going to stay in this gear because of the bend and what could be round the corner, and then gently gas through the second half of the bend to make some progress. It's still a national speed limit road. No, we're going to get nowhere near 60 because of the situation. Let's get there. Now, there's quite a blind bend ahead. Coming off, checking my mirrors, just gently teasing the gas to drive it through. And it's 30 ahead. Well, actually, we're still doing 30. And it says there is a, so we're staying in the gear, slow on the road, hazard line, concealed entrances, there's a puddle on the road there. Just coming off now. Can I tease this in the gear? No, I'm going to gently brake, clutch down, second gear, gas through. So I made the decision to gently brake, get the speed off, match the gear with the lower gear, almost on top of it. And am I looking to go back into third? Well, actually no, there's lots of little bends here, and a steep hill going downhill, and there's wet leaves on the road, there's a puddle there which I need to avoid if appropriate. So I'm staying in second gear. It says 20 maximum around the bend, so it's a 30 mile an hour road, but I'm going to stay in second gear. It is an appropriate speed. So I'm looking to tease in gently in this gear, and I'm looking to make some progress as it opens up, which it does there. Now I'm going to turn left. That's my hazard response, which is the junction mantra. I'm going to gently brake, do my final checks around. I go miss the puddle there. I am going to get the speed off and match the gear, first gear. Okay, so again, still 30, but is it appropriate to get to 30? No, because there's parked cars on the right, there are houses, concealed entrances, there's like a town, a community centre there, there's a church as well. So I'm making some progress in second gear, and again, it's not actually a third gear situation because the parked car on the right is completely blinding my view. So I'm just holding back in this gear. Is that starting to make sense, Lily? Yeah. Okay, and again, there is a white transit on the bend I can't see, so it's not a third gear. And it's making a little bit of progress now, but someone's just pulled up on the right, just the other side of the next bend, so again, I'm going to hold back. It's just over 20 in second. Allows me to respond to cars coming fast into the centre of the road. You need to anticipate other people's bad driving. So again, still holding back, forced out a little bit to the right. There's lots of puddles on the road. I'm looking ahead. Is it a third gear? Actually, just about. Mirrors and gas. Going to tease it in the higher gear. Assessing the position of the oncoming car there. And again, mirrors and gas make some progress. We are in third gear. We are going towards the speed. I'm just coming off a little bit because of the puddle on the road on my near side. Gonna make some progress, just coming off. Now, do I need to go down to second here? No. I'm going to tease it in the gear. Let's make some progress. I'm forced to go over those puddles because of what's coming towards me. There's lots of wet leaves on the road, so I'm not really going towards 30 at that point. Okay. But it's mirrors. I'm going to make some progress towards the speed, but there's lots of puddles on the road. Now I'm going to just get some speed off. I am going to go into second gear, and I'm going to go slowly over those puddles because I couldn't position over to the right because it was right on top of a bend. And again, there's loads of water in the road here. I'm going to brake clutch down first gear. We're going to go over this relatively deep water here, very, 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 very slowly on the clutch. It's literally on the clutch, control speed. That is the appropriate speed over water that deep. Okay, so mirrors and gas. Now it changes to national speed limit single carriageway, so unless it changes again, it's 60 miles an hour. So again, we're at the end of the road. We are going to turn left. And we get the speed off to approach the junction. Keep the speed limit, changing our head. It is actually 60 miles an hour. So we're looking to get to the speed. There's a lot of traffic coming. It's all on the clutch. If in doubt, dip and brake, handbrake to hold. Now potentially after this car, up and dip, I'm going to assess again and gas down. Now, I am going to make a bit of oomph progress because I need to get towards the speed without getting too close. I need to make appropriate progress. Now it's now 40 ahead. I didn't actually get to 60, but that's okay. Don't want to get too close to the traffic ahead. And it's now down to 40, so we're going to stay in fourth gear. Make progress as appropriate. Does that give you a better idea of what we're talking about? Yeah, it does take a lot of practice on different roads. It does, but it applies to every single road, every road situation. Well, I'm glad that's been of use for you, Lily. We can, of course, put this into practice every time you get behind the wheel. Okay? So that is the end of this video. Be aware that although every driving situation will be different, you are always looking to hold back when the situation requires and then make progress towards the speed of the road as appropriate. Clearly, I have not had time to demonstrate here how this works on various road types, but if you consistently apply the principle of early hazard response, you will develop this skill in good time. So to find out more, do click on the link below to check out the Fly High Driving Academy Complete Learner Driver video course package. That does actually cover everything that you need to know to pass the practical driving test with ease and confidence, including, of course, what is appropriate speed when driving on a variety of roads and within various road situations. Please don't forget the YouTube stuff below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video that will also feature a furry friend.